My first, and obviously the most pressing question I have for you, given
Mhm.
how things have gone in the last 7 days, and
Uh,
because people may not understand, we are recording this post coup attempt and
yes,
post the Friday night social media massacre. Tara
right.
Dublin, how's
Hi.
your week been?
Damn. Well, what's funny is it started out, like we were full of optimism on Monday, or maybe some cautious optimism because we thought naively that the vote would happen on Wednesday and then we could all just, live our lives. That obviously didn't happen. And I remember, waking up even Wednesday morning, the big news Wednesday morning before all of that happened was Merrick Garland. Merrick Garland announced as Joe Biden's AG, and within minutes, that's wiped off of the news cycle completely because of what happened at the Capitol. So, what I remember most about the visceral feelings from Wednesday, I think is something that it's going to take me a really long time to forget because it was the same feeling, obviously not the same situation, but the same feeling as 9/11. Because I had my television on from like 8 o'clock in the morning. And remember, I'm on the West Coast. So 8 o'clock in the morning until about 1:30 a.m., my television was on either MSNBC or C-SPAN. And that was it. I did nothing else. I broke away for seconds to write some breaking news stories for hillreporter.com because I'm a contributor there. Otherwise, Devin, I could not tear my eyes away from the screen. And the same sense of violation and disbelief and horror that I felt on 9/11 because we think we're invulnerable and we're clearly not. And, the longer, the further distance we get from January 6th, the more we're going to learn about any help the terrorists might have had. We're already learning about the Capitol Police helping them. But now, all across the country, they had mini insurrections. So in Oregon, at the Oregon State Capitol, there was one. And the representative from Republican Representative Rep. Neerman opened the door and let the agitators inside. So they had help. They didn't just have physical help, though. They had emotional help. And for the last, almost 5 years, really, ever since he descended that gold escalator, they have had help being angry, being energized, and having their anger and energy validated. And that is the problem because it's one thing for people to scream their sadness into the internet. We all do it, but to have it validated from the top and then have that trickle down through all of the Republicans to have official messaging from verified government accounts inciting violence, encouraging sedition and treason, telling people to get wild. Ted Cruz standing in front of this crowd and whipping them into a frenzy. Don Jr. whipping them into a frenzy. All of them are responsible. They did this on the daily on social media for years. And then leading up to this, there was tons of chatter online. And the thing that I can't comprehend is that the FBI watches these people all the time. They infiltrate these groups. That's how we find out about cults and other things because they get people to be spies and they sneak in and they become part of these groups, right? And they infiltrate them so that they can stop them. There should have been a more police presence on the ground. There should have been more backup. National Guard should have been standing at attention already, like they were for the BLM protests. And people have made the comparisons all week long that if the protesters were people of color, it would have been completely different. And we can't look away from that. We can't look away from the white privilege that allowed this to happen. So it's systemic. It's happened. I mean, we can go all the way back to the moment a white man first set his foot on American soil and decided to take it away from the natives. It goes back to that entitlement that white people have. They were walking around with no masks on, not just because they don't believe in the masks for the pandemic, but because they felt emboldened and they felt encouraged and they didn't care if they were being seen because they thought they were going to get away with it. Slowly but surely, we are seeing they're not getting away with it. The bison guy got arrested. The guy that was sitting in Nancy Pelosi's chair got arrested. The guy that took her podium got arrested. So slowly but surely there will be consequences, but the ultimate consequence needs to start where it began, which is with Donald Trump. So his voice is gone from Twitter. That's great. However, all of his sycophants are still there. His children are still there. His supporters are still there. They're all changing their user photos to his photo. It's a fucking cult. I can swear, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So it's a fucking cult. And and when people, if you watch any documentary about any cult, there's always a cult expert that says no one joins a cult. They join a movement that echoes their beliefs, or it gives them a support system they didn't have. They mirror somebody's feelings so that that person feels like they belong. So if you watch the documentary about the Nexium cult, or you watch the one about Heaven's Gate, or you watch Scientology, it's usually intelligent people. Of course, stupid people who don't think for themselves, those are very easy to get. But there are people who are very intelligent, who have been sucked in by this for one reason or another. Now, the people who are in government, like Ted Cruz, like Josh Hawley, like Lindsey Graham, who are educated, but then they all did a 180. And I think it's very much the time, and it's beyond the time, to acknowledge that the GOP got compromised because of blackmail. That's how we got here, because these Republicans, whatever the compromise is on them, that's to them more important than protecting our democracy. So you think about the selfishness, the craven ambition. You look at someone like Ted Cruz. He is walking craven ambition. He does not care. He has already said since the riots, well, first of all, the day of the riot, he dared stand on the floor of the Senate and say, we're still going to try to overturn the election. Even after people died, even after what we saw, he still stood there. So whatever Donald Trump has on him must be really extra terrible. We also saw Lindsey Graham stand up and say that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris rightfully won the election. Then we saw him crying on Fox News last night, begging Nancy Pelosi to not move forward with impeachment. He went on Fox News and just cried like a baby because he dared speak the truth. It's clear Donald Trump called him and said, remember what I know about you. I think Donald Trump threatened to release the compromise on Lindsey, and Lindsey is trying to save his own very compromised Russian ass. So they're still, even at this late stage, still trying to cover their own asses, hoping that whatever the secret is about each of them will never come out. And I don't know about you. I don't care. Short of murder, I mean, whatever they've done can't be as bad as what they did this week. How long have we been hearing them say, no one is above the law? They have yet to prove it. In the entire time Trump has been occupying our White House, they have yet to prove that no one is above the law. Everybody gets a slap on the wrist. Everybody gets to, walk away and get a book deal. John Bolton. How many of them got a book deal after they left the White House? Sean Spicer, Sarah Sanders. Like Josh Hawley lost his book deal from Simon & Schuster only after what happened on Wednesday. So the privilege that they just get handed all of this shit in life because of because of their position, that has to stop. And we have to I don't honestly know what it will take, Devin, because we've been trying to have a national conversation about racism for how long? We've been trying to have a national conversation about white privilege for so long. But the people who enjoy white privilege don't want to accept the fact that they enjoy white privilege. I have never seen so many people enjoy being terrible as I have witnessed over the last 5 years of MAGA taking over Twitter. And I'm also really tired because they are not the majority. We're the majority. And the maskless people are the minority, not the majority. And I'm tired of the stupid and obtuse minority in this country holding the more educated and more open-minded majority hostage, right?
The thing is, in having been through journalism school and have this hammered into my brain by many a J school professor, we try and we strive not to be hyperbolic about things, but dare I say, you seem a little passionate about all this.
What? Me? No, I don't really have any opinions, Devin. I don't know why we're talking in the first place.
No, of course not. Hey guys, Devin here. Thanks for watching. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and check out the links below for more great original content. Talk to you soon. Bye.